let me put the S vector up on the screen. So these are the elements in vector S, all right? Now we've talked before that I can extract any element I want. Maybe I want to extract element number 2. So this is element 1, here's element 2. So maybe I have a 4. Maybe the reason I want to extract that is because I want to multiply it times pi. Maybe I have some data and I want to extract element 2 and multiply it times pi, right? Maybe I want to store the result of element 3 multiplied by 2 pi. So this is element 3 from the vector S multiplied by 2 pi. I want to take that result and I want to store it in variable JSON. So now a JSON variable is created that has the value of what I typed in here. It extracts this guy, multiplies by 2 pi, and there you go. So we've talked about how you can extract elements from a vector, which is great. But one thing I want to show you here is that you can actually extract a portion of this vector. So for instance, if you type something like S, and instead of putting 2 and closing it off, what if I put 2, comma 4 or colon 4, right? This tells MATLAB I want to extract elements 2, 3, and 4. It's 2 through 4 inclusive. So when I hit enter, I don't get back a single number. I get 3 numbers back. This is element 2, this is element 3, this is element 4. Notice what I have here for vector S, element 2, element 3, element 4. So I've extracted a portion of that vector, and notice that the answer that I get is a vector. If you look over here, the last answer has brackets around it. It's not just 3 numbers that MATLAB is listing for you, it's putting those 3 numbers in a new vector for you. So everything in MATLAB really is in terms of vectors. I have an original vector, I'm extracting 3 elements from it, it gives it to me expressed in a new vector. So let me clear the screen and show you that again. We'll put this here. If I wanted to extract, the elements 1 through 5, you wouldn't do it like this. You'd put 1 colon 5. Then what this is going to do is tell MATLAB, okay, go ahead and look at vector S and extract elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and present that to me. Now, maybe I want to use that subset of elements in a new vector. I'm going to call it Gibson. So I'm going to assign to variable Gibson the subset of elements from vector S, right? So I go ahead and do that. And then Gibson is equal to the subset of elements. Element 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all stored in Gibson. So I might want to, take vector S, and I might want to take, elements 5 and 6, or 5 through 7, let's say, which is 3 elements. And I might want to take that out and multiply by 2, let's say. So what that's going to do is extract these elements 5, 6, and 7. So that's 3 elements of this vector, and it's going to multiply element by element times the number 2. This is scalar multiplication like we did a couple sections ago, where you can multiply the elements of the vector by a number, right? So I can take that. So notice what's happening. I'm taking element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 32, multiplying by 2, getting 64. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. So that's what I wanted to show you in this section. I wanted to show you some of these basic ideas where we could use the function length to figure out how long a vector is. We could use the function sum to add up everything, all the elements of a vector. Min and max, which are basically telling us the minimum and the maximum values of the vector. The mean function tells you can just actually average all the elements of the vector together. It will do that for you. And then very important, figuring out how to extract elements of a vector when you're trying to extract more than one at a time. Maybe you have a broad section of data that has hundreds of elements and you want to extract a subset of it and store it in a new vector, so you would do it like this. And this is all in the context of just typing things into the command window now, but think in the future when you're programming MATLAB. You've imported a bunch of data from some Excel file or something into a vector, and then you're extracting a portion of it out, and then maybe you're going to operate on this little subset vector and do some calculations with it to present your data, maybe. There's many situations when you might want to extract a smaller portion of a larger set of data, and that's basically what's allowing this to happen. Now, at this point, we're talking about vectors, which are just lists of numbers, but I've already hinted to you that a vector is really just a matrix with one row. So later on, when we get to matrices, you'll find out that defining a matrix looks very similar to what we're doing here. Extracting elements of a matrix is very similar, and extracting sub-matrices, subsets of a matrix, is also very similar. So what you're learning here is going to definitely extend to other areas of MATLAB and be something that you'll use quite a bit and very frequently.